What's up guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm really happy to see you again after the holidays. Hope you had a great time so far with your beloved ones and your family. In today's video I would like to touch on a pretty interesting topic that was asked to me to make a video about it, and of course here I am. Let's roll the intro and I'm going to explain to you afterwards what are the plans for the next couple of videos, not only this one. So with that said, let's dive right into it. So here we are. The topic that I want to discuss with you is techno kicks. It was requested by yourself, and I thought, yeah, why not giving it a shot and giving you all the informations I have about how to make a techno kick, which styles there are of different techno kicks, and things that you should consider. So I hope you can get some valuable information for yourself out of this video. With that said, let's jump right into Ableton and show you what I prepared for you. So alright, here we are inside my DAW. This is what I prepared for you. I set up a little 16-bar loop just to play back a few of the kicks that I made over the time. Some are more deep, some are more crunchy, some are more driven, some have more reverb or more of the tail. And yeah, added some percussions, effects and stuff just to fill the room up, so at least that there is something that you can listen to, and so that you can have like a clue of how the kick would transpose into the mix. Yeah, let's listen to all the stuff I made out. So, perfect. This is what typically I would call a kick with a reverb or a tail. So basically there are some people that obviously in their production they tend to, to make the kick and the tail and stuff that is going on separately. But I tend to like to, to sum it up as one whole kick and to compress it already, so that within the mastering stage the kick and the tail don't co-inference like with each other, but so that the base, the foundation of the track is already set, and it will be like that, like, within heads and drums and grooves and stuff. It is nice to have some shuffle, humanization you can call it, like some mini difference and variations, so that the track keeps going interesting and stays interesting. But within the kick,
there's one problem.
For me personally, and a lot of other producers, they tend to, leave the kick as it is, because in techno it is the driving force behind the track. So you have to have like the kick always with the same amount. It have to press, it have to give you, the bump inside your chest. And it is like the whole entire musical genre is built around a kick. So keep that in mind when you're working on your kick. Maybe you're wondering why I didn't play the last part. As you already seen, these are two different kicks, and this is because I'm gonna show you how to make this type style of kick, and I want to go with you through all the steps that I usually take to make a kick with a rumble. So keeping in mind that the kicks that we are used now today and to listen in techno are kicks with a rumble that is coming from that warehouse style, because inside these warehouses you had such an acoustic that the kick would get a reverb and obviously some kind of delay. And this special acoustic made this kick sound like it was pumping, like it was big, like it was huge, because we had this big reverb inside this house. So all we need to do is basically to emulate this warehouse. It is pretty simple, right? What you need first is obviously a kick. You can use basically every kick out of a sample pack if you like. There are plenty of sample packs out there with lots of good kicks. You could layer your kick yourself. I'm gonna cover that in an extra video, more on that. But in this video, we are gonna make our own kick. So what I took to make it easy also for you, I basically used a preset for silent, because I thought rather than getting a fancy plugin that may cost you some extra dollars, the most of you probably will use silent anyway. So there are plenty of preset stuffs out there that is free. Otherwise, just download free sample packs. There are lots of options that you can use. But for the sake, we're gonna use this preset. I tweaked it a little bit to my taste. I made the tail with a legato to give it kind of a downward swoop. It always brings like some bounciness into the track. You can obviously like leave it like this, but for the sake, I made it this type with a downward shift of 1, 2, 3, 4 semitones, and it sounds like this. Pretty standard, sounds pretty much like a 919 kick. There's a little of overdrive. I added some saturation with the plugin Isotope Trash. You don't have to use it, but I think it's really useful because you can do like multi-band saturation. So you can choose which band you want to apply which kind of saturation. You have very different options here, like distort, drive, faulty, retro, heavy, saturate. So you have plenty of options to choose from. Anyways, as I got this kick, I bounced it out into audio, and it sounded like this. Pretty much the same. After that, I applied some compression, and after that I applied some compression, obviously you can use every compressor type that you like. Different compressors have different flavors, so you should experiment with that and choose the one that you prefer for your kick. There's not a really a go-to or like a right or wrong. Like within music, it is always like this. There are many ways you can do it, and just try it. You have to try it out, which things work for you and which don't. I only give you the tools and you can work with them. So after you've done this, you compress the kick, and then it will sound like this. Fatter and louder and more even. After that, with this specific kick, I didn't like that it was like this overdrive sound also at the end of the kick. I like it more when like the hit and the punch is hard and with some saturation, but I like the tail to be more, chilled down and cool and more subby. We are gonna get a lot of texture out of the rumble that we are gonna add in the end. And the rumble is made of overdrive, saturation, compression, delay if you want. I personally don't use delay, but if you are making some kind of, this, in German we call it galopp style kick, like it. You can use delay for that. Just delay the kick, filter it out, blah blah blah, so that you only have the sub part. But I tend to only use reverb to make this tail of the kick. So what I've done here, let's go here, check this out, master. I basically split up the kick in 3 bands. You can do this every time you like. If you have something in your kick that you don't like, you can just split it up and cut out the frequency that you need then by simply, you know, putting an EQ on the kick. So this part will basically just have the lower end and not much this overdriven sound at the begin. So from this we went to this. This is not a must step, but in this case I prefer to do it. After that I rendered out the kick again, applied some compression and stuff, and rendered it out again to make it more even. It's just a tiny bit, not that much. And after that we are going to make the rumble. What I've done, I made two different styles of reverb. Basically cut off a little bit of the high, you don't have to, and played around with the diffuse time, the delay time, and the size. But the thing that you should look out most is the size, and in this case, for this one I used the right reverb, and for the left one the left reverb, so that you can easily see it. So these are the two kicks, and after rendering out these two reverbs we got these different types. So listen closely to the difference between the really small size and let's say a mid size. Obviously you can experiment with the bigger size, different decay times, density and stuff. So these are the reverbs that we are going to listen to now. The left one is a little more subbier and like more white, and the right one is like more dark but more hollow, if you can say. Maybe we can listen to just a sub frequency only. You can see spike is going up to here, and with the left one up to here. Obviously you can solve it by just EQing it out, with which we are going to do also later. Now the next step that I took is layering the kick that we had previously with the reverb. And also here you have different options that you can use. You can layer it with other sounds, put like atmosphere sounds in it to give it more crunch. In this I tend to keep it simple, just add some saturation and EQ just for this sake, but get creative, do whatever you think and try out. Most of the ideas just come by trying out, so don't be shy, push your boundaries and see where you can get. A thing that you should really keep in mind is that obviously your kick should be in mono, so I just put a utility on the group to keep it in mono. Obviously you can just mono out the sub frequencies from like 250 up to 150 hertz down below. So if you want, you can do like this. I really like to have the kick more centered, like the whole kick, because with this you are opening up the track for the other various elements to have more space, so you can fit more stuff in it. And obviously you can create the depth with all the other stuff, atmospheres, reverb, delays on hats, delays on all the synths, perks. So it's up to you. For me, I like it more to have the kick centered. So I layered it with the first layer. The first, you can listen, the first kick is still the same. Still the same kick, nothing changed. Then I took this left reverb and faded it in and out so that you have still the bump of the kick and like a really nice tail at the end, which would sound like this. And I filtered it and EQ'd it out pretty hard. This is just to, to get a layer on the kick, not to create rumble. As we know, for the rumble I use the second part down here. This is just to layer on top of the kick to give it more crunch, more like a more dirt feeling. Otherwise it would sound too clean. It's just like a lame kick, but with this layered sound it gets like a little tiny bit already of reverb, which is playing with the kick, so it sounds like it is a part of the kick. Alright, the last step obviously is to add the reverb tail. which sounds like this. I added some saturation and some EQ. Clean it would sound like this. You have like this pretty annoying high noises that I personally don't like really much. There are some people that inside of, I say, melodic techno just use a standard kick, throw a reverb over it, like a send and return channel, and they use like this reverb for the kick, and it's fine. Like for melodic techno, it could perfectly work. But I tend to like to, you know, make more drum code style kick, like more punchy, more groovy, more driving, IMT codecs, you name it. And so for that, we are using obviously an EQ to filter out all this high reverb stuff that we don't need. With the saturator, you can use maybe Isotope Trash, Camel Crusher. There are so many out there, but the standard saturator will do its work. So let's hear it with the saturation. It gives a little bit more crunch and obviously more loudness. And adding the EQ, it begins to sound like this deep wobbling thing that we have. Layered all together, then we get this thing. And after that, obviously I copied it out, added some compression, some EQ, boosted up the lows a little bit, and we got this beauty. Added some saturation, and that's it. Everything you need is basically saturation, compression, and reverb. You can add some delay if you want, but that you don't have to. And you get, from a boring standard, you get a massive, deep, and punchy kick. All right? Let's just compare it with the second reverb that I just showed you previously. It would sound like this. It's up to you to choose which one you like. It is hard to hear the difference inside, you know, just listening to the kick, because it is pretty loud. Obviously, it is sterile. You don't have any depth, you don't have any feel. So you have to put a kick, especially in techno, you have to get this kick which has this like small reverb, so it has a room, if you want to say it like that, but only if you listen to it in a context. So listening to a kick, like only the kick would sound like this. This is the first one. And this is the second one. But where the real magic happens is when you add all the other elements to give this kick a feeling of a room where you can put this kick in and where this kick stands. And with all the other elements together, the kick sounds like this. So you can pretty notably hear the difference between the first and the second kick. The first is more deep and more driving, and the second just don't seem to sound that nice. Why? I don't know if the second kick sounds like this because of Emma made an error. I don't know. It could maybe, but in the most cases where I tried to make kicks and used a really small room, like as you said 0.25 on the room size, like in the whole mix afterwards, the kick sounded so more big and so more powerful and like more present. I think it's because of that reason. But anyways, I think that's enough for today. Yeah, hopefully the video was useful for you. I thought it's time to share this with you because you requested it, obviously. We are gonna take view in the next few videos about layering in depth, maybe how to create different type of kicks, because there are different types of producers out there. Maybe you don't like this kind of style of sound. It is obviously different people, different tastes. It is all fine. And if you have some questions regarding making kicks and atmospheres, anything around music production, just let me know. If I know it, obviously I'm just learning as you. I'm not a professional artist, but if I can help you, just let me know and I'll give my best. Alright guys, thank you very much for sticking around till the end. I hope you enjoyed the content of this video. If you do so, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also to turn the notifications on so that you never miss an upcoming video of mine. With that said, I'm really looking forward to any comment of you. If you have something stuck in your head, a question, maybe something that you want to criticize about my video, please go on. I'm really happy for everything, also to improve myself and improve the quality of the videos itself. So thank you very much for your comments till now, and yeah, I would say we're pretty much done. Have a good time. See you in the next video, or even in the stream. If you want, you can hop on every Monday and Thursday from 8:30 p.m. on twitch.tv/HermanHesseMusic and play some games, have some fun. You can drop me some questions there as well. Alright, I think that's enough. See you soon guys. Stay tuned, stay groovy, stay techno.